we think of any city in Europe, what is the first thing that comes to our mind? White people, clean, well-maintained streets, and a good infrastructure. But with the speed with which Europe's demography is changing, these other things will also change. We all know how the demography of Europe, and especially Western Europe, has changed in the last few years, which also includes some big cities of Europe like London and Paris. But in today's video, we are going to show you 10 European cities that are ruined by immigrants. But before starting the video, I want to request you, we put our best efforts to create our every single video. So please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's start. Number 10. Oslo, Norway. Combining fjord and forest landscapes with high-end architecture and landmarks that bear witness to Norway's history, Oslo has it all. Nicknamed as the Tiger City or Tigerstaden, Norway's capital offers its visitors a taste of Scandinavian traditions and modern life. These things in the city of Oslo are becoming the reason for the destruction of the city, because the cities are attracting more immigrants than ever before and the number of native people is decreasing rapidly. As of 2024, immigrants made up 38% of Oslo population, with more than 200,000 immigrants of non-Western origin and their children making up 24% and 71,858 immigrants of Western origin and their children making up 10%. 26% of the city's population is foreign-born, with 19% being first-generation and 7% being second-generation. The ethnic composition of the city's population is as follows. Pakistani is 6.6%, Somali is percent, Swedish is 1.5%, Polish is 1.5%, Tamil is 1.2%, Iraqi is 1%, Turkish is 1%, and many more. Like in many cities, immigrants in Oslo may face challenges such as language barriers, discrimination, and difficulties in finding jobs that match their qualifications. The Norwegian government and local authorities have programs in place to help immigrants integrate into the labor market and society. The growing population, including immigrants, has put pressure on housing and urban infrastructure in Oslo. The city is working on developing new housing projects and improving public services to accommodate this growth. Number 9. Milan, Italy. Milan is a city in northern Italy, regional capital of Lombardy, and the second most populous city proper in Italy after Rome. The city proper has a population of about 1.4 million, while its metropolitan city has 3.22 million residents. Milan, like many major cities in Europe, has experienced significant immigration over the past few decades. This has transformed the city into a multicultural hub, but also brought certain challenges. As of recent data, around 22% of Milan's population consists of immigrants. Milan has one of the highest proportions of foreign residents in Italy. The city has seen an increase in immigrants from various parts of the world, particularly from countries like Egypt, the Philippines, China, Romania, and Peru. Immigrants in Milan are heavily involved in various sectors of the economy. They often work in jobs that are crucial to the city's functioning, such as in construction, domestic work, hospitality, and retail. Immigration is a contentious issue in Italy, and Milan is no exception. There are mixed feelings among the local population, with some viewing immigration as beneficial and others expressing concerns about cultural changes, security, and the strain on public services. This has led to political debates and the rise of parties and movements with anti-immigration platforms. Many immigrants in Milan live in overcrowded and substandard housing conditions. Some neighborhoods have become ethnically segregated, leading to social tensions. The lack of affordable housing is a significant issue, and some immigrants are forced to live in informal settlements or poorly maintained buildings. There are concerns about crime in some immigrant neighborhoods, although it's important to note that the relationship between immigration and crime is complex and not straightforward. Socioeconomic factors such as poverty and exclusion contribute to these issues, and some immigrant groups may be more vulnerable to exploitation by criminal networks. Number 8. Barcelona, Spain. It is Spain's major Mediterranean port and commercial center and is famed for its individuality, cultural interest, and physical beauty. On his visit to the city in 1862, Hans Christian Andersen remarked that Barcelona was the Paris of Spain. The city is indeed a major cultural center with a remarkable history. But the outside immigrants did not leave this city either. The situation here is similar to that of other cities. Approximately 20% of Barcelona's population consists of immigrants, making it one of the most multicultural cities in Spain. The largest immigrant groups come from countries like Pakistan, Morocco, Italy, China, and Latin American nations such as Bolivia and Ecuador. The demand for housing has increased with the growing immigrant population, contributing to rising rental prices. This has made it difficult for both locals and immigrants to find affordable housing, especially in central areas like El Raval and Ciutat Vella. Immigrants, especially those willing to work for lower wages, often compete with locals for jobs in sectors like construction, hospitality, and domestic work. This has led to concerns about wage suppression and job security among the local workforce. There are concerns among some locals that immigration has contributed to an increase in petty crime, such as pickpocketing and street theft, particularly in tourist-heavy areas. While the relationship between immigration and crime is complex and often overstated, the perception of increased insecurity can fuel anti-immigrant sentiments. Number 7. Vienna, Austria. Vienna has been called the city of music due to its musical legacy, as many famous classical musicians such as Beethoven, Brahms, Bruckner, Haydn, Mahler, Mozart, Schoenberg, Schubert, Johann Strauss I and Johann Strauss II lived and worked there. It played an essential role as a leading European music center, from the great age of Viennese classicism through the early part of the 20th century. The biggest problem of this city is illegal immigrants. Vienna, Austria, is a culturally diverse city with a significant immigrant population. While immigration has brought various benefits to the city, it has also led to certain challenges for the local population. As of recent data, around 35% of Vienna's population has a migrant background, which includes both first-generation immigrants and their descendants. The largest immigrant groups in Vienna come from countries like Serbia, Turkey, Germany, Romania, and Bosnia and Herzegovina. There is also a growing number of immigrants from Syria and Afghanistan, particularly due to recent conflicts in those regions. The growing immigrant population has contributed to increased demand for housing, especially in affordable segments of the market. This has led to rising rental prices, making it more difficult for both locals and immigrants to find affordable housing. Some neighborhoods with high immigrant populations have undergone gentrification, leading to the displacement of long-term residents who can no longer afford to live there. This can create tensions between different community groups. Immigrants, especially those willing to accept lower wages, often compete with locals for jobs in sectors such as construction, hospitality, and low-skilled labor. This can lead to concerns among local workers about job security and wage levels. The increase in population, including immigrants, has placed additional pressure on Vienna's healthcare system. Some locals feel that the quality of care has been affected due to longer wait times and higher demand for services. Some locals associate immigration with an increase in crime, particularly in terms of petty crime and social disorder in certain neighborhoods. While the relationship between immigration and crime is complex, the perception of increased insecurity can fuel negative attitudes toward immigrants. Number 6. Zurich, Switzerland. Zurich City is known for being the largest city in the country with the highest population residing here. Besides having economic, trade, and financial importance, Zurich is a remarkable city straight out of a fairy tale, set by Lake Zurich. 1.4 million people live in Zurich agglomeration. By the end of 2018, 34% of the city's population was made up of non-Swiss from a total of 172 different countries. The influx of immigrants has increased demand for housing, leading to higher rents and property prices. This makes it challenging for both locals and immigrants to find affordable housing, particularly in desirable areas of Zurich. Some neighborhoods, especially those with a high concentration of immigrants, have experienced overcrowding, leading to strained infrastructure and social tensions between long-term residents and new arrivals. The presence of diverse immigrant communities introduces new cultural practices, which can sometimes conflict with Swiss customs and traditions. Some locals may feel that their cultural identity is being diluted or challenged by these changes. Switzerland has a strong national identity, and the increasing diversity in cities like Zurich has sparked debates about the preservation of Swiss culture and values. Some locals feel that the rapid changes brought by immigration threaten their way of life. There are concerns about the ghettoization of certain neighborhoods where immigrant populations are concentrated. This can lead to social isolation, economic disadvantage, and stigmatization of those areas, contributing to further social tensions. Number 5. Frankfurt, Germany. Located in Germany's Hesse state, Frankfurt acts as an industrial, financial, and transportation hub. The city has many green spaces, trendy clubs, and innovative bars, and is known for its high-rise buildings, glamorous hotels, and world-class restaurants. You must have heard about the riots happening in Germany, and the interesting thing is that this city is also not untouched by all this. Frankfurt, Germany, is one of the country's most international cities, with a substantial immigrant population. This diversity brings many advantages, but it also presents some challenges for locals. As of recent data, about 40% of Frankfurt's population has an immigrant background. This includes both first-generation immigrants and their descendants. Frankfurt's immigrant population is diverse, with significant numbers from Turkey, Italy, Greece, Croatia, and increasingly from countries such as Syria, Afghanistan, and various African nations. Immigrants sometimes compete with locals for jobs, particularly in sectors like hospitality, construction, and low-skilled labor. This can lead to concerns among local workers about job security and wage levels. The increasing population, including immigrants, puts additional pressure on Frankfurt's healthcare system. This can result in longer wait times and perceived declines in the quality of care, leading to frustration among locals. Frankfurt's strong international character has led to debates about the preservation of local and German identity. Some locals feel that the rapid changes brought by immigration are affecting their cultural and social fabric. In some cases, high levels of immigration have been associated with social disorder and a perceived decline in neighborhood safety, which can contribute to local anxieties and tensions. Number 4. Paris, France. Paris has a long history of romantic representation in numerous movies, books, shows, and art. Those associations, of course, contribute to its notoriety as the city of love. But nowadays, Paris always remains the headlines of news channels and newspapers, not for its architecture but for the riots and demonstrations that take place there. As of recent estimates, about 50% of Paris's population has an immigrant background, which includes both first-generation immigrants and their descendants. The largest immigrant groups in Paris come from North Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, and various countries in Eastern Europe and the Middle East. There are also significant communities from Southeast Asia and Latin America. The presence of diverse cultural practices and traditions introduced by immigrants can sometimes lead to conflicts with local customs and values. This can create social friction and contribute to a sense of division. Immigration has become a polarizing issue in French politics, with debates often influencing public opinion and leading to the rise of political movements advocating for stricter immigration policies. This can deepen divisions within the community. Paris's immigrant population significantly enriches the city culturally and economically. However, challenges such as housing pressures, job competition, and social integration issues can create tensions among locals. Addressing these challenges requires balanced policies that support integration, ensure fair access to resources, and promote social cohesion, helping both immigrants and locals coexist harmoniously in Paris's diverse environment. Number 3. Brussels, Belgium. Brussels is famous worldwide for its gastronomy, particularly for Belgian waffles, Belgian chocolate, and French fries, which, despite the name, are actually believed to have originated in Belgium. The city also lends its name to Brussels sprouts. In 2023, the population of Brussels, Belgium, was over 1.24 million people, which is the highest it has been in the recorded period. This is a slight increase from the previous year. The population of Brussels has been trending upwards, with the lowest recorded population being in 1996 at just over 948,000 people. Immigrants are the reason for the rapidly increasing population of this city. Approximately 40% of Brussels' population consists of immigrants or people with an immigrant background. This high proportion reflects the city's status as an international hub and administrative center of the European Union. The largest immigrant groups in Brussels come from Morocco, Turkey, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, with increasing numbers from countries in Eastern Europe, Sub-Saharan Africa, and the Middle East. Brussels also has a significant expatriate community due to its role in international politics and organizations. Brussels, as a multicultural city, faces debates about the preservation of Belgian and local cultural identities. Some locals may feel that rapid changes due to immigration are affecting their cultural and social fabric. There are concerns among some locals that immigration is associated with an increase in crime, particularly petty crimes and social disturbances. While the actual impact of immigration on crime rates is complex, the perception of increased insecurity can fuel negative sentiments. Areas with high levels of immigration may experience social challenges such as vandalism or gang activity, contributing to local anxieties and perceptions of declining safety. Number 2. Amsterdam, Netherlands. As one of the most famous cities in the world, Amsterdam is synonymous with vibrant culture, rich history, inclusiveness, and beautiful canals. Since its construction in the 17th century, the Amsterdam Canal Ring has grown into one of the most unique urban landscapes in the world. Approximately 50% of Amsterdam's population has an immigrant background. This includes both first-generation immigrants and their descendants. But these figures can be more than 50%, but the latest official data has not been released yet. The largest immigrant groups in Amsterdam come from Turkey, Morocco, Suriname, and the Dutch Antilles. There are also notable communities from Eastern Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. Additionally, Amsterdam attracts a significant number of expatriates and highly skilled professionals from around the world due to its status as an international city and economic hub. Amsterdam's immigrant population adds significant cultural and economic value to the city, reflecting its global character and diverse community. However, challenges related to housing, employment, public services, and social integration can create tensions and dissatisfaction among locals. Addressing these issues requires balanced policies that support integration, ensure equitable access to resources, and foster social cohesion, helping both immigrant and local communities coexist harmoniously in Amsterdam. At the moment, a quarter of Amsterdam's population is foreign-born. If the children of those foreign-born residents are included in the count, it appears that just over half of Amsterdam's population belongs to either a first or second generation of immigrants. Number 1. London, United Kingdom. Big Ben, Buckingham Palace, or the Beatles, London is renowned as a global culture capital. The city is filled with history, breathtaking sights, and endless tourist attractions. But it is also true that due to the large number of immigrants in London, there are always some conflicts between locals and immigrants. Due to London being the cultural capital of the world, people from all over the world come and settle here, and then they take the issues of their native countries and demonstrate in London. And Britain's weakness and weak law and order could not stop them. About 47% of London's population is foreign-born, with many of these individuals having settled in the city over the years. This includes both first-generation immigrants and their descendants. London's immigrant population is highly diverse, with significant communities from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nigeria, Poland, Romania, and many other countries. The city also hosts a large expatriate community due to its global business and financial status. Immigrants, particularly those willing to work for lower wages, sometimes compete with locals for jobs, especially in sectors such as hospitality, construction, and low-skilled labor. This can lead to concerns about job security and wage levels among local workers. The increasing population, including immigrants, places additional pressure on London's healthcare system. This can result in longer wait times and perceived declines in the quality of care, leading to frustrations among both immigrants and locals. The rapid diversification of London has led to debates about the preservation of British cultural identity. Some locals feel that the influx of immigrants is affecting traditional customs and social norms. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.